It feels that this could be a really good day. There's something else going on, and that is people are concerned about their children. People are concerned that their own unstable circumstance will have an intergenerational effect. And this society has been willing to tolerate a level of intergenerational poverty that is amazing, alarming, dramatic, and traumatic in a country as wealthy as ours. This might be the moment when we can raise up the issue of poverty and begin talking about its intergenerational effects. We know how to disrupt intergenerational poverty. The research is really, really clear. And Haskins and Sawhill, in their recent book on the Opportunity Agenda, they summarize the research. One, children have to finish high school. You have to graduate from high school. Two, you've got to get and keep a job. And three, you've got to delay pregnancy, childbirth, and parenting until you're 25 or married. We know that for low-income kids, the first step, graduating from high school, is really the challenge, because what we know today is the majority of low-income kids do not graduate from high school. The question is whether there is a real commitment to end intergenerational poverty. Are we willing to put a stake in the ground and say that over the next decade, we will reduce poverty in this country by fill in the blank? Right now, we spend a lot of time talking about cooperation, coordination, cooperation, but in fact, we don't really have to do it, because since we haven't set out a goal that is measurable, almost all of us decide we want to produce good outcomes. So we define down the problem. We define down the problem to something that becomes manageable for us, something that we can do when we could do alone and we could do with our grantees. So the first thing is really to congratulate yourselves on being willing to take on poverty, and to encourage, to find some numbers, find some goals, set some targets. So the encouragement here is to find something that's worth working on, that's sufficiently ambitious as to be daunting. If it doesn't sort of make you take a deep breath and want to go home or want to raise a finger and say, can I go to the bathroom, then it's not big enough, right? You got to find something that scares the hell out of you, that is meaningful enough to scare you, and it is compelling enough to keep you at the table and keep everybody else in, and to force a new philanthropic practice, looking for new partners and working in a different way with people who have the knowledge, the experience, the credibility on the ground. We're now in an era where, for the foreseeable future, all policy conversations will have to take account of debt reduction, deficit reduction. That is the era in which we live. And those of us in philanthropy have got to take on that issue, and we can't pretend that it's not there. The question then is, if we care about kids and grandkids, if we want to take the long view, how do we participate in that debate? Yes, we've got to get on the side of people who say there are some things that should be cut. And it's going to require really tough conversations about what should be cut. But we can't defend everything. Yes, there's some things that should be capped. Again, tough conversations, because some of the things that should be capped are really important, but we've got to ask the question of what's sustainable. Yes, we do have to raise additional revenue